Well, DHL's been involved with sports sponsorship and sports marketing for many, many years. It's a tradition of the company. I think the key point to this is it truly reflects the values and the attributes that we have within DHL. If we pick up things like speed, teamwork, a little bit of history, some heritage, team spirit's quite a big one, even a word like delivery. So they're the attributes and the values that we embrace here at DHL, and if we manage to get those same messages and people who appreciate and can embrace those and see that in the sport that we're related to, then it's doing a job for us. So we've been involved in other examples of those same attributes with Formula One that we've been involved with. I think this is about our 12th year now. We've recently tied up with the Volvo Around the World yacht race, so that's quite exciting. And some of the other bits. In rugby, we have been involved for some time as well. We've been involved from everything from club rugby through to internationals, Tri-Nations, through to Bledisloe Cup, and right across the board really. So it's you could say this rugby sponsorship is an extension of what we've been doing in the last few years. It's worked out really well for us. We're getting a reasonably solid return on our brand investment, so taking it to another level is something we're quite excited about. No, I don't think it's been at the expense of any other sort of cost line. Certainly, we've been reasonably aggressive with our marketing activities for many years, and I think that's why the red and yellow logo of DHL has now become almost a super brand, and it's become a easily recognisable brand in business communities all around the world. So obviously to maintain that level of awareness and the strength of the brand, we're to continue to invest in it, and we find the right type of sports does exactly for us. So it's probably across the board, from being in situations that we get mass media such as Formula One, which takes over 1 billion viewers when the season commences, all the way through to having the opportunity to embrace individual customers by entertaining them through hospitality and everything in between. It's a bit hard for me to answer that, and for a very good reason. We're finding that we get better clout and better global coordination. Remembering we are a huge global organisation, and we are the world's. We consider ourselves the world's most global company in over 227 countries around the world. So it's best, from a strategic perspective, to manage that at a global point. So we do that out of most of this global sponsorship is managed through our worldwide headquarters in Bonn in Germany, and therefore on a local basis I can't really answer that, but I assure you that the level of investment probably has been made the same, if not slightly increased, over the last 4 or 5 years. Okay, sure. So I think anybody who's involved in sports marketing knows that writing the check out for the sponsorship is just the start, and the actual activation and using that properly and maximising it to full is really where the hard work starts. Now we've been fortunate enough to have a reasonable sized budget to activate it, and we've used this activation right across the board. So it starts off with obviously in-stadium branding, which will give us that global visibility that we're looking for, all the way through down to hospitality, a lot of build-up and turn within the company. Now bear in mind that we've got 100,000 employees inside the DHL Express group, and over 500,000 employees in the Deutsche Post DHL group, our mother company. So so even the internal marketing is a huge opportunity for us, and something that we're getting a lot of return on as well. Another example is engaging on the different levels and different perspectives is something like rugby ambassadors. Now you may have read that Sean Fitzpatrick is the ex All Black captain, and most captain All Black of all times, and most captain on rugby, I understand, has been working closely with us, and we're finding that the return on that already before the World Cup start is pretty encouraging, with a reasonable, actually better than expected amount of media coverage on major newspapers and all the events we've had around the Asia Pacific basin. We've had 9 rugby sponsored dinners aimed at our customers and potential customers in the leading cities around Asia Pacific so far, with either Sean or some other rugby legends. And the publicity and the return on that has been pretty good for us, let alone the feedback from our customers on a great entertaining evening. There is. There's everything across the board from being involved with our staff, and Sean here was recently talking to our staff here and talked about taking his learnings from leadership in a sporting role and what that means in a corporate world, and our staff got a huge kick out of that. All the way through ordinary hospitality with our customers that we do a lot of, and certainly a lot of social responsibility. Here in Singapore recently with the Tomoko Lions, that was a very successful event and has since gone on to DHL confirming it's found as a foundation partner with the Tomoko Lions, which supports underprivileged children here in Singapore. Now we do that all pretty much all around the world when we have the opportunity to do so. So just to give a little bit of perspective on how we manage this, Sean Fitzpatrick is our global rugby ambassador, but in local markets, when we try to act local wherever we can, we employ local ambassadors there to dovetail as well. So for example, in Australia it's been Phil Kearns up to now, in New Zealand it's been Tana Umanga. Now with Tana, as part of our normal expected corporate hospitality that we've engaged them in, we've also had him down to Christchurch and spent a bit of time with a lot of school children down there, making donations, and particularly after the earthquake, or earthquakes as I've had it now, and doing a bit down there, which is an important marker for us within the Christchurch business community. So yeah, a lot of engagement right across the board. This is a busy time for us now. I mean, again, putting my sports marketing hat on for a moment, I think that within about a week of the finals, it's pretty much all over. And before you know it, the end of the year's gone, and then you got a 2000 Rugby World Cup in DHL 2011 in New Jersey, and you're into 2012. Nice memento, but obviously the opportunity to exploit the opportunity we've got right now is right now. So we're going really as hard as we can in terms of our preparation. So I think as we get about 8 weeks out from the kick-off of the Rugby World Cup is that when we start to get very busy. We're moving over 100 tonne of freight from all around the world into New Zealand for the event. So there's opportunity for us then to involve teams that are travelling over and also use that as a PR opportunity to market DHL's involvement with the World Cup as the visibility increases, as teams are preparing to leave their home nations to come to New Zealand. When the goods are in New Zealand, we're moving all the freight around New Zealand, and that sounds quite simple, but believe me, that's the logistical challenge, to say the least. Playing on a sort of Wednesday and having your kit ready for another game on the Friday, another part of New Zealand, and with multiple teams, particularly with if we look at the ash cloud that came from Peru recently, Chile I should say, I'm sorry, and the earthquakes in Christchurch, we've got to cater for all the risk. So there's a lot around that. So I think we're in reasonably good shape in terms of preparation goes. Where we'll get the most visibility, of course, is just prior to kick-off and throughout the whole tournament. And I think you can expect to see the DHL brand involved in everything from the transportation to pick up and delivering tickets to anything a little bit more unusual, such as moving blood samples for drug testing out of New Zealand to Australia where athletes are tested. I think it could be. There's an opportunity for us. We're finding that rugby is a good fit for all the reasons I gave earlier, looking at those values and attributes. It's a really good fit for us, and so far it's looking encouraging. So I can't make any promises at this time, but we're looking at a long-term involvement in different areas. So yeah, it'd be interesting. Watch this space.